President of the United States. 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 George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, David Rowe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Henry, John Tyler, James K. Polk, Zachary Taylor, Miller Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, Jimmy Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, Presidents of the United States, Presidents of the United States.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of
Like Father,
Like Son.
I am your host, Coach of the Character.
You can call me Mr. Unknown, and we are here.
Back with another episode.
Another episode. Knowledge is power. I don't know if y'all heard that song. I don't know if you've listened to it. I don't know if you've looked at it on YouTube or Instagram. But Presidents of the United States by this young man and Kobe is a hit. And so every time we start our show, we play that song.
No,
and so the fact of the matter that there is 46 presidents, and bottom line is you, a 11-year-old and a 5-year-old, know all the presidents. So I just think that's a remarkable thing of just having knowledge in your brain in general. Another shout out to the International Women's Day. It lasts a month. Thank you. Sorry. It lasts all the month of March, and recognizing the women for all of their accomplishments and the things that they have done in this world, in the state, in the country. Shouts out to my mother and her greatness of being able to be in a position to be a grandmother right now in life and being able to work through what life had thrown at her. So shouts out to her. Shouts out to any other young lady. Maybe Fabiola might be over there on YouTube hanging out with us, and anyone that's coming. Much obliged to all women and their greatness that they have added into this great place that we live in.
Well, today we will be talking about confidence, but I also want to speak on something else. There was this book that I got today, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I've watched the show. There are some episodes that I may have skipped, but it's a really good show. So anyone who knows young kids that has Netflix or in Paramount Plus, they should go watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's very good.
Avatar the what?
The Last Airbender.
The Last Airbender. Can you give like a brief, don't go too deep because we are talking about confidence and self-esteem. So can you give like just a little brief description of Avatar? Because when you think of Avatar, I think of the tall blue people. That's what I think of. And thinking like, oh, you're talking about the first Avatar, or is it going to be Avatar 2? Or so what is this Avatar? Give a brief description.
Just a brief description. It's about this 12-year-old boy, 1 year older than me, who is at least how tall am I?
You're about 4'8" or 9.
Probably 4 foot. Probably 4'10".
Okay.
And she's been stuck in a block of ice for 100 years.
So this is all kind of like this is fiction.
Yes, fictional.
Okay.
She's been stuck in a block of ice for 100 years, and during those 100 years, there wasn't a 100-year war because the Fire Nation was trying to take over the world.
The Fire Station?
Fire Nation.
The Fire Nation.
There's an earth, fire, air, and water. But
and they're all different.
Nation,
they're all different groups. Like little
cultures.
Or cultures. Okay.
But the Fire Nation wiped out all of the air.
Yes.
Except for him, because it's the last air.
And I just want to say why it's kind of really significant that he brought this up, and I didn't know that he was going to, is that he asked to go to Barnes and Noble, and I was like, well, what are we going there for? As if there was something else you could buy there. He was like, I want to buy a book. I said, you got some money? And he was, yeah, whatever. But he was like, yeah. And he went out, he took his money and he bought the Avatar, the Last Airbender book. It's a Nickelodeon book. We're not going to show it because, YouTube be tripping on us sometime. We don't want to break no rules, but I guess I would believe that reading that book would lead a kid to want to find out more about Avatar and may lead them to want to read.
Mm-hmm. There's a whole series.
There's a whole series. So that's a plus. That's a plus. So some shows that kids can watch. And remember yesterday we were talking about shows and what they can do and are they constructive? Do they help with the mind and things like that? If you can watch the show, follow that up with reading a book about it, that's a winning show, in my opinion. So go ahead.
Today we will be talking about confidence.
Now we know that confidence
is something that everyone in some places lack.
Right.
And everyone in some places do have.
Right. Kind of flourish at it.
And confidence is something that we all want and desire.
Right.
Because we want to be confident, prominent in what we are doing. And to be able, basically saying, to be able to know what we were doing and to be able to
or even just
to think you're good at what you're doing.
Right. I mean, simply for you to come on the show with your little tank top on, that in itself is confidence. I could imagine plenty of people be like, I'm not wearing that. People are going to see my shoulders and right? Or just wearing it out to, say a barbecue or, out to the park or, to the lake, to just be out with the friends. So that's a form of confidence in general.
Confident in what you're wearing.
Yes.
And be confident in who you are.
Right. What you do, what you believe in, who you're with.
What gender you like.
Right.
When I was in the bookstore, I was actually reading a book, one of the follow-up series about this. And there was this lady who, like another woman, and the other lady was scared that the other lady's parents wasn't going to comprehend it correctly.
Comprehend what though?
Comprehend that they were together.
Okay.
Overall, they did, but that's being confident in who you are and what gender you like, and just what you're doing.
Right.
The definition of confidence: the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. Firm trust.
Right. Now we know when it comes to confidence, and like it says, like you feeling and you believe that you can trust someone or something, right? Like a real firm trust. And that's something that the moment that people start learning their personal confidence, they can soar to high mountains, right?
Yes.
That on the other end, if you are lacking confidence, you could get caught up with self-esteem issues and depression and things like that, right?
Because you're not you believe that you're not good at what you're doing.
Right. You're not prepared. You're not versatile in that genre. You're not, you're not.
Everyone has
your skills aren't.
Everyone has the ability to be confident in whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like they just have to choose when to activate.
Right. That was great. I don't know, like I'm staring at him right now and like I'm having this moment of brilliance. But anyway,
I said seeing yourself.
Maybe. But I know that when you can find your confidence, right? Words start rolling off your tongue like no other. You start going and doing things like you never did before. You start trying new activities, dancing, singing, running, bike riding, swimming, new careers.
And being yourself.
Right. And a lot of people aren't themselves because of that, right?
Believing that you are what you want to be.
Right. And
even if you're even if people say you're not good at what you're doing, you still have to believe in your heart that you are good at what you're doing.
Right.
Because that in itself is a form of confidence.
Yes, sir.
Believing when people say you're not doing it correctly.
Right. Have you ever been in a position where you were lacking confidence, and when you had the confidence and you could remember using it?
Yes, I do. It was recently, about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks, and we were at a park. We were doing school, right? And you wanted me to ask some people.
Is that when we were doing the survey on?
Yeah, we were doing a survey on on if people think sugar is addictive. And I was afraid to go and ask some people. I ended up asking 3 people, but overall, I was afraid, and I wasn't confident.
And why? Why weren't you confident? What were you afraid about? Honestly, now that you can look back on it and see, okay, I wasn't confident.
I don't know what I was afraid of. I think I was just afraid.
But you're not
not
sure
having the confidence to do it.
Okay. Well,
not believing in myself.
And but even still, to the day, you can't figure out why. Well, as we're doing the show, think about it. And if you come up with something, just talk about it. Okay.
So ways you can boost your self-confidence.
Now and that's amazing that you say that, because there are ways to do that, right? It's just like there's ways to lose weight. There's ways to better your reading score. There's ways to raise your IQ. There's ways to get more finances. Huh? Yeah.
But some ways to increase or gain your self-confidence, to be confident in who you are and in what you're doing, is one, to visualize yourself as what you want to be.
Right.
So imagine you want to be a chef, but you're like, just for instance, you can't flip the vegetables up in the pan like Gordon Ramsay.
But if you keep trying, right. First you got to get the pan, then you got to get the spatula.
No, first you got to believe that you can do it.
Right.
Then you can get the pan, the spatula, get the vegetables on there, put the oil, and flip it up.
Right. Right. You have to
affirm yourself.
Then you have to do things that scare you every day. Now, that is related to me. I don't know if you remember or if you know.
Going on a bike ride every day?
No, going on the bridge.
Yeah, bike ride on the bridge every day.
You said every day.
It said do something.
Well, do something that scares you every day. Well, every day, the thought of riding on the bridge was frightening, right? But I knew that I wanted to overcome that. I wanted to be confident in that. That almost like connects with bike riding when it comes to riding bridges and through bike trails, bike lanes in the street, things like that. Because some people, they don't ride in the street at all. They don't want to ride where there's bike lanes. They don't want to ride where there's no bike lanes. They only want to ride on trails, on actual real life bike trails. Right. And then people eventually adapt and say, okay, let's move on. And now I'm going to start trying things. So when I got the confidence to ride on that bridge, it was a remarkable feeling to do that. And that was something that I was able to overcome.
Now, one thing it says, number 4, is question your inner critic.
Right. And what did that mean to you?
I believe that means questioning how you critique something. Like, for instance,
how you critique something or critique yourself?
Critique something, which...
No, your inner self is you. That's you. That's you critiquing yourself. Because we talk to ourselves inside of our mind. We talk ourselves into doing things, and we can talk ourselves out of doing things. Right? And so when you have a critique, and that's just like a comment or a feeling about what something is doing or what you're doing, and you're just talking to yourself, saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to go in the house. I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to go make dinner, and I'm going to talk about, I don't know, chess and ice cream, right? In comparison to bringing up something that made me mad earlier, right? So you're listening to yourself, right? So questioning your inner critic. Your inner critic sometimes will tell you, hey, you shouldn't do that. You can't do that. You don't have the ability. You're weak. You can't accomplish that, right?
Yeah.
So that's what questioning your inner critic is, and that's a way of building your own personal confidence.
Now it says, set yourself up to win.
Set yourself up to win. Now, what does that mean to you?
I believe that means put yourself in the position to be able to excel.
Right, to succeed.
Because when you succeed, it gives yourself a good feeling to be like, I'm gonna do that again.
Right.
I'm gonna get better.
Right. Setting yourself up to win is a remarkable thing, because a lot of times people set themselves up to fail, and they know that, oh well, if I leave my woman, I'm going to have to start from scratch, but then I can kind of build myself up. Like, people play weird tricks with themselves, right? And that's back to that inner critic, right? So when you set yourself up to win, it's almost like picking a particular career, right? Going to a specific school, putting yourself on a certain team, putting yourself in a certain activity, right? Painting, science. If I know that you're good at something, okay, I'm gonna put you here where you can build that confidence, so that when you maybe go to the next stage in your life, or the next activity, or the next team, or the next school, you'll be able to take that confidence and roll and say, okay, I'm capable, I'm able.
Yes.
Now
we'll get on to self-esteem. So, self-esteem is an individual subject evolution. Wait.
Where are you?
Evolution.
Yes, evolution. That's right.
Evolution.
Start again.
Self-esteem is an individual's
subjective.
Self-esteem is an individual's subjective evolution of their own worth. Self-esteem encompasses beliefs about oneself, as well as the emotional states such as a triumph, despair, pride, and shame.
Right. And that's about victory and things like that, right? Despair is when things kind of aren't going the way you want. Pride, where you kind of have a certain aura about yourself, right? Shame, when you kind of are embarrassed, right? So
feel bad about yourself.
Right. Confidence is one's own worth, right? So when you think of the self-esteem, right? You're thinking of just believing in yourself, right? So confidence, self-esteem, they kind of go hand in hand with each other. They're like the fraternal twins, because they obviously are two different words, but they're the same, right? But they have all about you. It's all about you, right? I'm gonna let you guys in kind of a little bit about myself. One way, because as I've grown up, right, and as you see, I am a dark-skinned man, and every dark-skinned man in this world, most of the time, has probably dealt with the fact of being called black, black at, negative terms that may pull your self-esteem, pull your confidence down. And there came a time in my life where I just started saying I was the greatest of all time. In what? In anything, in life, right? And so I would believe that I was the greatest simply so that I could be able to handle the pressure that was coming at me as a black man. And then when you add on all of the rest of the negativity that's in the world, with the racism and the segregation and the, the disrespect of your culture and things like that, and then we were and are taught to dislike each other, then then you end up having this lack of confidence in yourself. And so when you have lack of confidence in yourself and your self-esteem is low, it hurts. And so it also goes into how most black people, how we have this, or people in general, I shouldn't say most black people, but we have this kind of talk about each other and talk about each other's families and each other's mothers, and and it comes off as like a jokingly thing, but the reality is that's just lack of confidence. That is lack of self-esteem. So if I can throw it at you and make you feel bad while making other people laugh, then I feel good about myself, right? And so that's something that I know in my culture and in my upbringing, in my neighborhoods.
A lot of people talk about each other because they have low self-esteem.
Right.
They don't believe in themselves.
Right. And I can remember,
or someone has done it to them.
Yes, like that, and that's usually how it starts. And it falls in the bullying category, right? Where someone's treating you a particular way, so then you turn around and you treat someone else the same way. And it comes with maturity, right? Maturity brings a lot out of people, and you start changing and making adjustments in your life. There's, I have plenty of friends where we've had our moments of talking and capping and making people feel bad on a particular night when we're young and feeling ourselves after parties and things like that. But within my lifestyle right now, on how I've lived in my later years and gaining maturity and wisdom, I have apologized to some of my friends, if not most of them, on things that I've done to them that I know that I was just doing it because my confidence, my self-esteem, my awareness, my lack of knowledge, my ignorance was just out the window, right? It wasn't there. So that's something that is hard for people.
Yes.
When it comes to apologizing, that's hard for anyone to do. But
it really is, because their pride gets in the way.
Right. And that goes with confidence too, to be able to say, I'm sorry for, mishandling the situation, mishandling the money in the family, or, mistreating you. I'm sorry that I, raised my voice at you. That takes confidence in itself, because you have to believe that you believe it, and you got to believe that the person's going to listen to it, and you got to have the confidence that they may not listen to nothing you talking about. Right? That's confidence, right? So so I was saying, one way, again, this may sound a little cocky or big-headed, but whatever the case may be, when I, go to the facilities, the restroom, when I wash those hands right after, I give myself a piece and a smile. And I'm mentally telling myself, you are the one, you're the great one, period. Because I can't wait for someone else to tell me that, right? We tell kids that, right? And then by that time, a lot of time, parents end up not telling their kids no more, right? And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And just like, but there's some parents that don't give their kids confidence ever, right? Whether they're young, whether they're old. They don't know how to give hugs. They don't know how to give kisses. They don't know how to give that compassion, right? They just wait for, when we're always talking about man and woman, right? And they just kind of wait for the woman to do it.
Pertaining to baseball, you have to have confidence to get back on the field after you just got beat really bad.
Right.
The last weekend.
Right. And you got no hits. You went 0 for 3. You struck out 2 times. You struck out 3 times. You had an error in the outfield. You didn't play in the other tournament game. You only played in 1 of the 3 tournament games. And you got to be able to shake yourself out of that mentality, keep your self-esteem up, have your confidence in place to where it doesn't matter. I'm out here having fun and I'm going to enjoy the moment. Let's see. Go ahead.
On a side note, I can't wait to do my jerseys, or at least see how my jerseys are going to look.
Yes, and if we get that jersey and everything, we'll show y'all tomorrow. Let's see. It says, I preach to my son, in order to get comfortable, you have to be uncomfortable, meaning because it's something new. No one is confident on the first try. This is facts. The more you do a thing, the confidence becomes a process to behavior. And that's amazing that you say that, because, like, Kobe, aka Shaka, he's 5 years old, and the guy, his reading is really good. And a lot of times he starts off reading that book and learning from my wife. She's like, hey, you got to read, you got to have him read the same book over and over to build that consistency, to build that repetition, right? And remember yesterday we were talking about repetition and how long does repetition go on and things like that. But there are books in here. There's about 7-8 books that Kobe can read. And sometimes, we may read it to him and the confidence is not there. And he may read it and the confidence is not there. But you catch him, 3, 4, 5 times down the book, and now he's doing exactly what I'm saying. He's doing the flow. He's reading in the sentences. He's not reading it like it's a list, right? So, to what you're saying there, Professional Dad, Vacation Travels, Spunk there, you are correct with that. Shouts out to Portia hanging out with us. So, when it comes to confidence, I do believe that you can build confidence that is not there. So there was what was that other list? It was a list. What happened to that list you had? What'd you do to that? Because you can go from let's say that was it, right? You can help someone else, right? Helping someone else helps you build your confidence, right? Giving them
for yourself,
caring for yourself. Yes, that does. Yes, right. So what does that mean? That's like saying, okay, maybe I'm maybe I'm thin and I'm always cold, and right. So maybe I can go to the doctor and find out, hey, you need to eat stuff with iron in it. You need to take some iron pills or some, and things like that, right? So now you start caring for yourself, and now you're realizing you're not as cold. You're not feeling this particular way that has you always bolted up, right? Because some people, when they're always cold, they're always wearing tons of clothes. So then when you're always wearing tons of clothes, you're not worried about what you're wearing underneath. And then you end up not being confident in yourself. One, because I'm skinny. One, because I'm always cold, right? So you never are really unveiling yourself because of your lack of confidence in certain scenarios, right? Just like with smoking or drinking, right? Sometimes people grab that cigarette, that marijuana, that illicit drug, or that alcohol, and they put it in place of confidence. These are facts. This ain't knocking nobody. They put it in place of the confidence because it starts to speak for them, and that is something that is not that easy to break. And so, I've been there. I know what that's like. Those are hard scenarios, but I also know that they can be defeated. I know that when, how they say, if you weren't born with it, you don't necessarily have to do it, right? So to be able to have the confidence to go in like yourself, right? It's simple things to have the confidence to say, hey, Dad, can you take me to, Barnes and Nobles to get a book, simply because maybe I got a lot going on, that we got to get to practice, that I got to cook dinner, that the house got to get clean, I may be trying to study something, things like that, to even to make changes in your life, right? To make changes in your life that may be dramatic, right? You may only make a certain amount of money, but you need to accomplish more to be able to change your tax bracket, right? So that means that may take anywhere from 6 to 4 years to make that adjustment. It takes complete self-esteem, complete confidence to do that, right? And that's no easy task, but I'm telling you that it can be done. Shouts out to my boy Thighs for hanging out with us, and Shishi for hanging out with us. Let's see. Reinforcing the mistakes made are only pathways to success. Reinforcing the mistakes. Okay. Maybe breaking down, but that's probably the same thing, right? That, hey, here's where you kind of had that hiccup, right? And because they say that you learn from your mistakes, right? But if you don't have no confidence, when you make that mistake, you're ready to turn it in. You're ready to say, I quit. I don't want to do it no more, right? Because you think about it. You think about the McAteer days, in there with Be a Genie and Miss what was it, Portal, and who else? Some of them damn teachers, Miss Day and Miss Daniels, and what was the economics teacher, right? You know darn well the kid that raised his hand or her hand was the absolute confident kid in the class, because it was always 4 to 7 black kids in the class, and 98% of them would laugh at you if you asked a question when they know darn well they weren't certain of the question that was asked of them too, right? And now here I am, an older man, and I may be in a meeting or something where it's a group of parents of that I know because it's hard to make that adjustment, right?
Yes.
To where I may just ask the question just because I figured out that I was played all them years, or that it never built up on the inside of me until I became older. Let's see. I don't know their names. I used to use to cut class. Hey, I always tell the story, guys. I know you remember this one. I know you do. We was either in the 9th or 10th grade, and you got your head down in the class, and you turn your beeper off, or you turn it on, and you look at it, and you got everybody's attention. And so you look at it, and then you turn it back off. You put your head back down, and then 2 minutes later, you know what I'm saying, you kind of see your right shoulder and arm moving, and then you turn it, and then you beep it again, and you looking at it, and then everybody like, you ain't there, nobody pays you. But anyway, right? But honestly, don't worry about it. I explained to it off the air. But the thing of the matter is that we all were dealing with lack of self-esteem, lack of confidence, right? The support that we needed to make things a lot easier for ourselves, right? It was difficult because of the road that we were going down. So when it came to needing the extra oomph from yourself, it wasn't there, and that was that confidence. And if we look at the definition of confidence, the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, right? Firm trust, right? And so we didn't have that firm trust, right? You might have had a moment of trust, but not a firm hand on trust. So it left us all kind of like to fend for ourselves. Then when you think about the staff, the administration, and I'm talking about high school here, where they didn't necessarily have the confidence. They didn't have the self-esteem to, look us in our eye and say, you know what, your behavior is unacceptable and you need to go. You're suspended for a day, or get your butt up over here and darn it, hush your mouth. Shut the boop boop. And yes, we're calling your mama, and I'm going to tell her I said boop boop. Okay? Because your behavior has been going on for the last 38 days in a row, right? So they lack the confidence. They lack the confidence in speaking to our families and helping us get on one accord. So when it comes to confidence, self-esteem, self-awareness, right? Self-love, and building up, right? Say you're a big person and you've been big for a while, or you're not even big, but you got a little front little area, right? Hey, so what? So, and it's one day. You take one day to start, and then you take it from there. You take it from there because it can be done. Like I'm flat out saying, it can be done. I know it can be done. I've seen people do it. I've done it in the aspect of I may not be big like anyone else, but I do have asthma, right? And so a person who has asthma, and if you don't work out, well then guess what? That's not going to help, right? Because when you're breathing, that's opening your lungs, right? And I don't want the inhaler to just open my lungs. I want to open them myself. So how do I do that? I go out and I work out on my bike. I don't do all that extra stuff, right? But I will get on my bike. I'll do some agility footwork with these guys. I'm not lifting no weights. I'm not doing no armed, all of that. I'll run some stairs because I got good lower extremities, right? So I'll work what I can use, right? All this up here is pain. I'm cool. I'll take it time. Take it slow. Right? But that takes confidence. Straight up confidence. Mm-hmm. And this was all kind of led by us listening to my guy Beyond the Mechanics. I don't know if you guys saw the post on the story, and he did an interview, and he was talking about how confidence takes you a long way.
He was getting interviewed.
Yes, he was getting interviewed. Right. By what was his name? Matt something. But excuse me, and that's Beyond Mechanics. But it's amazing because this guy's in baseball right now, and I don't know if I explained it before, but this is his first time playing since 2019, right? Summer of 2019. So
at least playing for a team.
Right. We've been grinding since then, but still to even go out on the field, meet new people, a whole new team, a whole new coach. That's all confidence to go out and have the awareness to tell a kid, hey, come on, let's work hard today. Hey, hey, good play, right? To, hey, what's your name? How you doing? Where you from? You staying at the hotel this weekend? Like all of that is confidence. Going up to the coach and saying, hey, I'd like to pitch. Hey, coach, I want to play first base. That's all confidence in yourself. And if you don't have confidence in yourself, the only other thing you're going to have is the opposite, and you're not going to believe in yourself, which then your self-esteem is lower. So then when things are happening, it's just not working, right? I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, and that's cool. I swear, I don't mean nothing by it, but I believe, in my opinion, and I'm coming a little bit strong. Don't take it the wrong way, but I believe that a lot of women, they wear makeup because they don't necessarily believe that they are the natural, beautiful human that they are. And when someone is selling to them, help them to understand that makeup is not necessary. You don't have really no blemishes and everything. You're fine. You're beautiful like you are. And I believe in due time, that young lady will not wear makeup anymore because now she has built up this confidence, this self-esteem. I love myself. I'm popping. I'm the greatest, because I'm telling you right now, I don't give a damn if I don't have not $1 in my pocket. I'm the greatest. Period. Hands down. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care. You can go God on me. You can say, oh, you're not better than God. I'm not saying I'm better than God. I'm telling you I'm the greatest, though. That's what helps me stay sane. So don't come trying to knock my sanity. Period. Okay? Because you know how the world is. The world, you can, if you're just an average person, let's go here. If you're an average person and the world says that you ain't food, right? Then, and you go to a restaurant, you go to the store, you go to a gathering, and you get treated a particular way, you're now dropping down to below average, because now you're holding your tongue, right? You're trying not to lose it. You're trying not to go niggerish. You're trying not to slander someone. So then you kind of hold it in. Now, when you have that good day where the words come out right, okay, now you just stay at that below average if that's where you are. If that's where you are. But I say, because, and so they'll go back. So if you do get knocked down and someone makes you feel a particular way negatively, now you're below average, right? In your feelings, right? Yes. And then what's under below average? There's
negative average.
No, it ain't negative average. It's on like the state test, right? But it's something under below average, right? Jafara. But anyway, I believe that if you put yourself at proficient, right, which is the highest you can do in reading and math, right? If you are proficient, when someone makes you feel bad, someone does something wrong to you, your confidence has only taken you down to advanced. I'm advanced. And guess who's going to get me back up to proficient? Me. Because I have the confidence, because I have the self-awareness, because I have the self-love. But if you already at average, or you already at below average, and then somebody say something mean to you, make you feel a particular way, you're dropping down, and man, you're depressed. You're hating yourself. You're borderline thinking about offing yourself. These are real scenarios. So I tell you, if you on this show right now, if you could help me out and say, I love me some me. Can you text that? Can you put that in there and say, I love me some me? I love me some me. Because there are plenty of people that it's hard for them to say, I love myself. I'm popping. I'm the greatest. I'm the one. I'm beautiful. Me. So if you believe in yourself and you love yourself, let me see you text it. Let me see you put it on the screen if that's what you feel. Because if you don't, that's something that take it one day at a time and work on yourself to get to that point, because it's not easy. It's not easy. But once you get there, it's there. You're there. You are there. You are there. Straight up. And so let's see here. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Tim, let's see. The other way to build your confidence: exercise, be fearless, stand up for yourself, follow through, think long term. Right there. Right here.
Do the right thing. Get things done. Monitor your progress.
Yes. The best way to reach your goals,
big or small, is break them into smaller goals and to monitor your progress.
There it is. There it is. So, it's all steps, right? Some things are, I can do it. I got it. Don't worry. And then other things, it's a mind game. It's a mind game. Straight up mind game that you play with yourself. And when you're able to kind of talk yourself into those positive roles, what is it called? Questioning your inner critic. Questioning your inner critic. There was once this lady that I knew. She used to wear makeup. And I told her, I asked her, I don't know what made me build the confidence to ask her. I was like, why do you wear makeup? I was like, I don't see no blemishes, because I think maybe one day she didn't wear some makeup or something like that, right? And so, some women, they may wear it because they got scars and little blemishes and little marks and things. Okay, cool. I feel you, right? And then some people, they like to do it because their mother did it, and they and they always wanted to kind of do that whole little makeup pretty thing, right? But also, sometimes people do it because they're not completely confident in that natural beauty look that they have. And so they don't see the same beauty that others see. And I can remember mentioning it to this young lady, and she took a moment and she didn't wear it one day. And I think people just started complimenting her. And from there on, she stopped wearing makeup. So that's like a full bill in your life that you don't even have to pay for no more, built on your confidence. And with all that being said, we're 44 minutes in strong. We can talk forever.
4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yes. And this is my main man, and I'm glad he's here. They call him Kojo the character. Yes, it's all an asset. Yes, sir. I am Mr. Unknown. I hope.
You said they call him good.
Yeah, you was kind of frozen there a little bit, but
I didn't know what you
that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. You know what I'm talking about now, though, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Kojo the character, Mr. Unknown. See y'all tomorrow. We'll be here roughly around 7 o'clock because practice ends at 6. We're in the city. We're jumping back out here, jumping right on with you.
Life is great, no matter what.
No matter what.
You.
See y'all tomorrow.
Wait.
Let's see, like wearing jewelry or fancy clothes. Right. And on that note, sometimes, and I remember who was it? Kanye said that you can't leave the house without your fly gear, paraphrasing, right? And I'm leaving out the house sometime. I'm looking like Dirt McGirt, right? and I look and I'm like, it's all good because I know when I do, I'm gonna look great. And I'm already great. And I already feel it in myself. Not like trying to feel like, oh, you all that. I can't be all that. I'm right here in West Oakland. Shit, I'm, hey, I just love me. Okay? So continue loving yourself and go eat some dinner, y'all.
I'll catch you
on the flip side. Did you say the other part too? Okay. One more time. Give it to him one more time.
Life is great, no matter what. I'll catch you on the flip side.
Flip it for it. Flip it. Catch us on Professional Dads Facebook.